Oh yeah, it's time for the Korean Asmongold series to come back as I watch a man reacting to another dude who could be reacting to another dude because my opinions matter. Why? I don't know, we're an anime reaction channel. And Trash Taste is in hot water right now. You know the Trash Taste, right? Giguk, Connor, Anime Man. They do podcasts about anime stuff. And they brought upon a certain person named HASAN, someone that I quoted on September 11th, 2024. And I got permanently banned for repeating his lines. Now, I was able to submit a repeal, and I was very apologetic, and we're back. But basically, this is a controversial figure in the political landscape of, you know, content creation, and they did not have a good reception at all. This Trash Taste video got so many dislikes. Now, a lot of the people are just brigading it because they absolutely hate HASAN. They don't even care what HASAN said. They just see him and just call him a terrorized sympathizer because of, honestly, the actions that he did, right? Bringing on like a Houthi member onto Twitch stream and saying like, hey, y'all watch One Piece and shit, right? But we got Asmongold saying this is fucking brutal. Let's farm it.
Taste. So this didn't go very well at all. So Trash Taste, for anybody who doesn't know, is probably the most popular anime podcast right now in the world.
So far, just watch me. I'm gonna start my own podcast, overlap them. Probably never gonna happen, actually.
And they talk about anime. They decided to bring HASAN on the podcast.
So on February 21st, HASAN was on the Trash Taste podcast. And there's a flood of backlash in the comment section about Trash Taste having this dude on their show.
Well, let me see. I'll pull it up right now. It's actually getting...
Oh, it's even worse now, right? Because this is the moment of recording. It's past like, what, 34,000, 35,000 dislikes? Man, people hate this guy.
Way more unpopular. Like yesterday, it had 16,000 to 15,000 likes, and it actually still had a positive like ratio.
Okay.
Now it's 18,000 to 28,000. That's
now, are all of these likes genuine organic feedback? Because here's the thing. There is a lot of dedicated cult-like members who hate on HASAN because of who he is. Whether it be the DGG, like Destiny community, whether it be, you know, like, there's even like right? Like Ethan Klein and stuff. There's some crazy drama happening there, right? And basically, like HASAN, people just absolutely hate the guy. So I don't think that a bulk of the, you know, the dislikes coming in are genuine frequent members that watch Trash Taste, but simply saw HASAN being mentioned or saw a thumbnail of him on there and decided to brigade it. Still shows that people hate this guy.
Still had a positive like ratio.
And true, there are also likes, you know, brigaded by HASAN's community. But this is HASAN being, you know, featured on the Trash Taste like podcast, right? So I think it makes a little bit more sense there to actually have, you know, his organic community members showing up and doing it. But I mean, it is what it is.
Now it's 18,000 to 28,000. That's nuts. That's brutal, man. You'd think that they'd be more positive to somebody who interviewed Luffy, but I guess not.
HASAN is aware.
That's a little jab if you don't know about, you know, if you read the comment sections, like it's basically a bunch of people saying that HASAN is a radical. And I think he is radical. He himself has admitted that he has an extreme ideology, that he wants to basically, you know, listen, I'm not the most like politically educated person to be talking on subject matters like this. I'm a dude that just fucking reacts to anime on YouTube. But essentially what happened in the past was, you know, he is basically all for like liberation for the people, you know, revolt, you know, change, you know, the existing ruling system and basically, you know, overthrow that shit. That is radical. Now, is there a good theme regarding it, a bad theme? That's for you to, you know, determine. But basically, there was like a Houthi member. If you don't know what that is, go search it up yourself. And he made a bunch of One Piece references there, which might have been a little out of taste, and it's just getting memed around now.
Of the backlash, and he does not seem happy, making a number of responses addressing it. So let's take a look at all this stuff and let me know what you think. First off, some analytics. The video currently has 293,002.
We saw that before.
God damn. And look at it now. That's in one day, bro. A singular day.
And this...
Want to check it now? Y'all want to see the shit now? Look, this.
Anime.
Also, hold up. Listen to his take here.
Gamergate 2 EX.
No. Go back.
Anime.
Go back.
Blue Lock is a boy love anime.
That's not a crazy take. If you have actually seen Blue Lock, you would understand that this is a reasonable statement to be making. Is it an actual boy loves anime? No. Does Blue Lock heavily lean into whoring out their femboys and, you know, androgynous men and husbandos in skimpy, tight clothing doing physical acts where they literally use verbiage of like, oh, you're gonna tie me up? Oh, that's a tight pass through this hole. Lock me up. Like there is some incredibly sus shit being said. So this take, I think, is totally valid, but that's not what we're here for right now. We're looking at this. This shit's going 40,000, bro. It's reaching 40,000 dislikes. Oh my god. If you look at the amount of viewership that this video has had, though, compared to the other trash taste, videos, right? Let's look at this. Can you guys see this? 400K here. And then again, it's only been 3 days. Damn, this one did really well. 659K. They went to Australia for that. So honestly, we should let the video cook for more, to see exactly what the maturation point is. But it's pretty insane. If we look at the other videos, let's see, for example, how many likes and dislikes did this get, right?
I'm saying dry.
Or how many comments? Let's look at this, right? This got... Okay. I want to show you this. This got 659,000 views. 1759 comments. This
Blue Lock is...
This got 400,000 views. 30,000 comments. This is like the same thing of when you see a tweet, right? You see a tweet that is so outlandish and stupid that the amount of quote retweets and replies surpass the amount of likes that it actually has, right? Now, let's check out a different one too. Maybe, the Australian one, maybe there was not much to say. What about we do Honest Review Japan and the Apothecary Diaries one there as well?
gifted me these
Let's look at this.
like mangoes.
Let's see. 423,864 comments. If you look at the likes to dislike ratio, the 13K is right there. Even this one, right? 18K likes, but 40K, Jesus Christ. This one, 36K likes. That's quite a lot. That's definitely a lot, right? More than this. And if you account for the total sum of 36K versus this, oh, Jesus Christ. How about over here? 450,000 comments, 15K, 100 dislikes. So, you know what my take was all the time? Happy people don't engage. You want to succeed on social media? Succeed as in just basically get engagement? You need motherfuckers to be mad. Happy people who are content with the content will not go and comment, will not go out and, go out of their way to just like the video. Sometimes they will, but like for the most part, most people just lurk. They see the video and they're like, you know what? Good video, and they move on. The fact that this has 30,000 comments is absolutely fucking insanity, bro. Anyways, let's get back to the video.
This is after HASAN directed his viewers to essentially combat what he's calling the brigading. First, a brief clip of the podcast itself just seems fitting to play at least short portion of that. Then we'll take a look at some of the comments so you can get some more of the context.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Trash Taste. I'm joined once again by the boys, and we have a returning guest because you're back in Japan now.
Hell yeah. I'm here permanently now.
So out of sync.
This time
Boo. I mean, this is Asmon chat right now, though.
it's for real.
You self-deported?
For real?
Yeah, now that my country's on fire, I chose Japan to just stay here.
Okay.
Whoa.
But yeah, we got HASAN. He's back.
A little out of hands.
Oh yeah, no politics, sorry.
Cali
No
Flyers.
politics, all right. I don't want to hear it.
I love how they can't get 30 seconds into the episode without this dude bringing politics up. I'd prefer my anime discussion not to involve a guy who celebrated the death of innocent civilians in no less than 2 different recent modern conflicts and who carries water for authoritarian regimes.
I think the 2 different recent modern conflicts is talking about Ukraine, Russia, and Israel, Palestine, right? And again, I am not anywhere close to being educated enough to be able to decipher the nuanced takes, regarding these incidents, but it's not looking good.
teams and celebrates terrorists indiscriminately
Ethan
attacking
video did
civilian
work.
vessels at sea, abducting their crews, and who still stone women to death.
This is the Houthi stuff, right? Celebrate terrorists who discriminate attacking civilians vessels at sea. I think this is the one where, again, the One Piece reference, right? They brought a member of a group called Houthis. I think this is the one that engages in behavior like this, and a lot of people are very, very frustrated that HASAN would do such a thing.
Death for not obeying their every command.
Thanks.
Another one saying, I've been a viewer of the Anime Man and Giga for more than a decade. As a female viewer, I am absolutely disgusted seeing 3 men, the biggest...
I wonder if
As a
I went on
female.
the podcast, who would have a worse dislike ratio?
I don't think Asmon is as hated as HASAN. Like, a lot of people definitely hate Asmongold, but I don't think it's as bad. Now, only one way to tell. He has to go on.
I wonder what would happen. Me, maybe. I don't know. I'm actually curious.
who thought having HASAN is a good idea. This isn't just a simple drama that can be ignored. That's like saying 9/11 is just drama, then proceed to have Bin Laden or Al-Qaeda members as guests to talk about their favorite video games.
Bro, these
Jesus.
comments are out of pocket. Oh my god.
These comments are so hostile, but a lot of them, again, it's not just like random bullshit just being made up. A lot of them are definitely exaggerated to really paint HASAN in the worst light possible, but many of the things that's being said, like, is just absolute truth, again, of bringing the Houthi member on to the stream.
God, it would be crazy. If Bin Laden was still around, there would be people that would invite him on a podcast and ask him about anime. I guarantee you that would happen.
Been following
So, what's your favorite anime? Oh, I can't do this. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get banned if I mention it. I can't. I want to! I want to crash out! There's an anime. Zankyo no... You know what I'm talking about? Zankyo no... Anyways.
both Joey and Gigux since 2015, but now I'm unsubscribing. Not gonna watch someone who endorses terrorism by hosting this guy. Once again, those comments were just some of the comments that you can find by sorting by top comments. And it seems like there's thousands, if not tens of thousands of comments where people share similar sentiment. Interestingly enough,
30,000 comments by now.
the pinned comment is from Trash Taste, and they say, "We don't and have never deleted comments on any episodes."
Yeah.
And this is because a number of people have been accusing them of deleting comments that are
Yeah, hiding.
on. For example, this tweet that reads, "Trash Taste is getting heat for having Hassan Piker on the podcast," and then deleting comments critical of him. That account
Ooh.
making a follow-up tweet that reads, "Even the Trash Taste Reddit wasn't impressed."
Jesus.
Going on to
Honestly, it's not that ridiculous to assume that they would go out and delete the comments. Because think about it. Trash Taste brought on Hassan, who is also a very influential content creator. They want to have a good, amicable business relationship. If the video they made had a huge amount of negative feedback, regardless of whether or not he deserves it or not, from a pure business relationship standpoint, don't you think that deleting those hateful comments would be something that they would want to pursue, right? Like, that's not ridiculous for me. Now, in terms of, again, and that's, again, we're not even talking about morals, ethics, or having any sort of principle. That's just talking just business. But, I mean, they confirmed that they didn't delete any of the comments, so I don't know why all these people are saying all this shit right now.
the quote, "First time seeing a 50% like to dislike ratio on a track."
Well,
Wait. Conspiracy theory time. Imagine someone made those comments and then deleted it themselves and then screenshot them before and after and then try to portray a narrative that Trash Taste is going out to hide Hassan from the brigade. Oh my god, think about that. Oh, this is insidious. This is on another level of scheming right now. Oh, yeah, it's another level of hate. This is D1 hating. Like, holy shit. Maybe you to delete the comments for bullying. The comments don't get deleted upon, like the comments will get deleted right on, like, the precipice of being posted. If you say something that flags some sort of keyword or, their algorithm detects, some sort of phrase or some sort of saying that's very hateful that goes against TOS, they will basically just keep those comments in, like, a held section, and maybe it'll just get deleted. If a comment has been live for that long, I don't think it would just get deleted. Now, the comment could get mass flagged and reported, but I think it's way more fun to assume that someone literally deleted their own comments, took some evidence, and said, "Oh my god, I can't believe Trash Taste would do this." D1 hater.
It's not the first time. You didn't see 50% because it's less than that now. It's like a third. It's way less. Yeah,
now
it's
those
way
comments
less.
are just gone. Is the person who manages the channel actually deleting them? Taking a look at the provided screenshots, we can see there's actually a lot more to that comment. The full comment reading. The first thing I did when this episode came out was scroll down to the comments. There were hundreds of them expressing the fact that they didn't
Not just hundreds, there's tens of thousands now.
like having HASAN back. Some of them had almost 1,000 likes.
Yeah.
Now those comments are just gone.
Gone.
Is the person who manages the channel actually deleting them?
Oh my God.
Please let this just be a YouTube glitch, because otherwise, wow, that would be low.
Oh
As
my
we already
God.
went over, Trash Taste made a very brief response denying that any comments were deleted. Still, it's very interesting that comments on both Reddit
It's
and
just so hard to say, right? I mean, there's a chance that they did it, but as somebody who's familiar with YouTube's system, there's also a chance that they didn't.
Editor's note, it's most likely the comments were mass reported through HASAN.
There it is. I mentioned that, right? Thank you, Mr. Editor. It can get mass flag reported and it could be taken down.
HASAN's counter brigade, thus triggering YouTube's auto
Yes.
which removed them.
Speaking of the Trash
There
Taste
it is.
subreddit, let's hop over there and take a look. Specifically,
But again, I want to still believe that it was created and deleted by the same person who wanted to send a narrative. I think that is just way more fun to think of. It's my headcanon.
this post that reads,
Ooh.
seems like HASAN has brigaded his community to quote-unquote get in and actively counter the brigade. The comment section. And linking to a tweet that we'll take a look at next. As for the post,
Yo, isn't brigading just straight up against the TOS? Like having a call to action and, you know, just like mobilizing your community at scale and to just like go. I mean, when Asmon like reacts to a video, links the video in chat and says, go give the video a like. You could assume that that is also brigading. That's a positive brigading though, right? That's a good thing. You're showing more engagement and, you know, you're spreading awareness. I don't really know how the line is drawn there.
itself, it got 563 upvotes
Wow.
before being locked by the
Got
moderators.
locked.
With this mod, leaving a pinned comment, a sticky comment rather, that says, for anyone reading this, if you are not interested in talking about the actual content of the Trash Taste podcast episode, please don't make comments. All you're doing is making our volunteering harder, where we'll just have to lock certain posts and remove posts as well.
Volunteering, baby. At least the mods are aware, you know? That's the most selfless job, sorry, volunteer work in the world. Unpaid moderators on Discord and Reddit. Goddamn, the unsung heroes of this world. I mean, the comment here is fair. Because, like, I'm thinking, much of the comment are just HASAN hate. It's just hating on HASAN, saying, I can't believe you had HASAN on. I don't think they're actually watching the podcast to have a discussion about the actual episode, right? They're not there to counter what HASAN specifically said in, like, you know, a specific, like, segment of the stream. Like, you don't, like, who is next Diddy is crazy. Like, you don't see, you know, anyone here. If I do a control find and try to find, like, Blue Lock, right? I don't think Blue Lock is going to be here to talk about HASAN's take about, you know, boys love anime. So there definitely is, like, I understand where they're coming from, but at the same time, like, the HASAN is the featured member, so it shouldn't be of surprise that people are going to be just doing this kind of behavior.
I think like it's a complicated topic because like when you cover a lot of like really divisive and controversial stuff, you become divisive and controversial. Like there's nobody who covers this kind of stuff that isn't like that. Like whether it's HASAN, me, XQC, anybody who talks about any of these controversial topics, they do have a huge amount of people that get mad about them.
Absolutely, because there's a dichotomy in the ideology of whatever stance, whatever, you know, position you take. There's going to be an opposing, you know, school of thought that may be just as big, right? And you just, you know, it's just a bunch of monkeys throwing shit at each other, basically.
The issue is that there's a lot of people that they view things like Trash Taste or they view like content as non-political content. Once somebody gets kind of like
true, I mean it's an anime podcast. Why the fuck is politics even being mentioned?
Labeled like that and people don't like them like that. That's it, right? That's totally it. It's natural. Well, what I'm saying is like this is how it happens. Is that if you cover controversial topics like that, you're gonna get these comments. You will, like whether you like that. This is just the way it is. Like it doesn't matter like whether you think that you should or not. Like you cover controversial topics, you talk about things that are extreme. you are going to have people that are going to say this shit because
Absolutely.
they're going to be pissed off. Like, it's kind of like the same argument that I used with like woke video games. So if you bring on somebody who's like extremely controversial, you know, politically minded, etc., you're going to alienate a lot of those people. And the reason why is because a lot of people use video content, like things like Trash Taste, as an escape from the real.
That's right. It's entertainment. It's a source of entertainment. People aren't tuning into Trash Taste after a day of hard work to fucking learn about the nuanced positions of whether or not it's okay to support the Houthis or not, right? Like, they're not here to do that. They're here to watch anime. Now, did Hasan talk about that shit? No, but his simple presence there is enough to trigger this emotion from the people to start fucking brigading and commenting like that. Like, you are basically anime person. Talk about anime. Why the fuck are you talking about politics? And then here I am, as an anime reaction channel, talking about politics regarding the anime podcast. Am I a hypocrite? Absolutely, if I was just an anime reaction channel. But this is now a commentary, personality-based channel, so go fuck yourself.
The world. Like, there's a lot of people that I'm friends with privately, but like they don't want to do shit with me publicly because of like all the drama that I'm involved with, right? And I think that makes sense. Like, and I don't really think like, because you gotta keep in mind, like, this is their job. This is their job. It's their career.
That's right. Sponsorships, brand deals, right? If you're associated with a person who is deemed brand risk, a person who is a controversial figure, you kind of lose those connections, right? So people have to kind of look out for their own and, you know, prioritize, I guess, business potential careers, you know, rather than, I guess, you know, partnering up or collaborating with other people. But I feel like that's why people love Asmon so much, right? That's why I feel like as much as people hate on him, like, the price of freedom cannot be matched. The freedom to say whatever you want, however you want to say it, without being held, you know, by a tight leash on a collar. Because if you have sponsorships and stuff, you know, other people are on the line, right? And the things that you say can impact them too. And some people, some brands won't allow you to say some things about them, right? So someone who is so blatantly honest and authentic, whether them be right or false, or whether it be nice or, you know, being very mean, at the very least, it's like authenticity. And that's why like people like Asmon continue to grow.
And so, like, am I going to ask somebody to, like, fucking, like, put your career at risk because of me? Like, what is this? Like, no, bro. Like, this is your job. It's your life. And so I totally understand it. I totally get it. But pussies, they're not pussies. They just, like, everybody does things that they wouldn't do.
I mean, they are pussies, but there's nothing wrong with being a pussy. Like, if you were told, like, if you had the choice of, like, hey, here's an ultimatum. You should, you know, hang out with your friends, but if you do that, you lose your job. Yeah, I mean, like, you can call them a pussy because they didn't hang out with their friends, but do you blame a person for choosing the method that secures their livelihood, right? There's nothing wrong with that.
Normally because of their employment. That's just how it is. That's life.
All the fucking chat here, deaf pussies. They're pussies, cowards. I get all these fucking peanut gallery, bro. I guarantee you, if these motherfuckers were also put in the same position to make the choice, they couldn't make the choice. Now, I call them pussies just now too. What's different from me saying it versus them? I'm empathizing and I can contextualize why they would make that choice. The monkeys that's typing right now saying deaf pussies, they are basically just eating popcorn. Fat motherfucker on a couch is like, if I was that person, I would be a giga chat. yeah, sure, bro.
There are people that wear uniforms, people that, you know, report to bosses that they don't like, and they are polite and cordial with them, even though they wish they could tell them to fuck off. That's life. They're pussies. No, I mean, to a degree, I agree. And I actually think the world would be a better place if nobody took any of these comments about anybody seriously, and everybody just let anybody talk about anything, and nobody gave a fuck, and people just thought about the ideas and the conversations. Right?
Wouldn't that be nice? If people could literally just listen to the fucking ideas being said, rather than being so triggered as soon as you see someone that represents a label, some sort of like group, a genre, something that to be against, right? Because like I guarantee you the people screeching in the Trash Taste video didn't even watch the podcast. They just see the name Hasan and get fucking triggered. Listen, whether or not you like him or not, that's why I don't give a fuck. I'm just saying, rather than getting so fucking upset immediately and screeching on the ground, if people could just have a conversation talking about the ideas in the talking points being mentioned in the video, could be a way more constructive, you know, time But that's not going to happen because monkeys are going to be monkeys. It's tribalism. It's you're against us, you're with us, you're against us. If you basically align, if you say anything good about HASAN, suddenly you two are terrorist sympathizers. It's just like nothing productive ever gets done because motherfuckers just want to dunk on the other side playing team sports. And that's kind of also politics too, right? On a greater scale in America, the two-party system. Rather than talking points and policies being mentioned to, think about like, oh, we should vote for this party because of these policies. Motherfuckers are like, well, no, I would never vote for them. Fuck the Democrats. Or like, oh no, I would never vote for the judge, the Republican, right? It's just like nothing can be done because the monkeys are divided and conquered as the top elite puppet masters control us all. Is this going into conspiracy tinfoil land? Just a bit, yeah.
Rather than getting fixated on it. I agree. I think that's true. But that doesn't mean that other people are going to think the way that I do, right? And so, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's going to help the situation.
Yeah.
Well, this presents a very fun opportunity. Let's take a look at some of the top comments on that post. That
Oh, boy.
But you shouldn't be surprised, by the way. You should not be surprised. If people don't want to deal with you or like you get a negative reaction like this is just how it is.
Yeah.
Because you talk about topics that are like really personal to people and they get in there.
It's basically going to McDonald's. You know what you're signing up for, right? You are going to be covering these controversial topics. It's going to be a completely opposing force that's going to hate you no matter what, right? That's the game that you're playing.
For example, this top response that talks about how pathetic it is to issue some kind of counter brigade and how that's also a brigade. The next one reading, yeah, that was
the reason why HASAN's doing it. I'll tell you the reason why. I mean, maybe
it's probably because this is just like his usual behavior, right? Doesn't he like mobilize the forces on his Discord and to immediately like launch as like a brigade whenever like a bad post on LSF is happening, right? Livestream fails, a subreddit where the most parasocial motherfuckers, talk about, streamers and they just kind of shit on them. Guilty pleasure. Absolutely. But like this is just the habit that's been formed after being such a controversial figure and not wanting bad things to be said about them, so they go out and have motherfuckers defend them.
I'm mind reading, but I'm just thinking about it from my perspective.
You want to look good.
He's probably doing it because he wants to be able to collab and do stuff with these other people. But if enough people hate on it, the fact is that Trash Taste receives income. It is a capitalistic venture. It makes money. Like maybe they would do it for free, but they'd sure have a harder time getting everything edited and getting everything shot and getting cameramen in there, having somebody make a set, etc. Right? If enough people don't like you, then it becomes not worth it to collaborate with you. Because, like, for example, like bringing somebody on like Elon.
I wonder how many people unsubscribe from the Trash Taste Patreon because of this. I think that if you unsubscribe from their content because they brought HASAN on, that's like... Isn't that really lame, though? Like, you're jumping the gun and you're doing like a performative art of like, I cannot believe you brought this one person on that I hate the most. I fucking hate this content now. And fair, if you don't want to watch them anymore because of that alignment, you can leave. But I wonder how many people actually decided to say, nope, this is the last line. I will no longer support you just because of your affiliation with HASAN.
Elon Musk, for example, or like Donald Trump. Like, that's like a huge amount of popularity, but it's also a huge amount of hate. But because they're so popular, it's like a net positive. If other people feel like collaborating with you is a net negative, they're not going to want to collaborate with you. And
the brigading happens to create the illusion that it is a net positive for HASAN.
then you get alienated. Then you have people that won't defend you. And then you get kind of like, separated from the group. Is the content creator just polemic? We're promoting killing people. No, I'm just saying like that's the reason why he's trying to do that. Because if you don't do that, then these people that are on the show are going to think to themselves, well, we don't want to lose money. We don't want to have people hate our show. I don't want to bring this guy on again when the last time we brought him on, everybody got mad. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and I doubt that they're going to have another collab with HASAN. If they did, it'd be... Oh man, that's like doubling down, right? A lot of people, like the feedback is terrible. I'm sure they're not going to like burn bridges and basically like they're probably still going to be friends with HASAN behind the scene. But in terms of future business ventures, like, is this worth it? Is the cost of business, right? You got to immediately assume that, all right, every time we collab with this guy, we're going to lose this many more people. It's going to be like, negative engagement or whatever. But is the cost of business actually worth it in the long run?
Right below that, this comment reading, great. Another creator telling his community to counteract the hate. Looks like this is going to be more than a 12-hour drama.
It's been on for,
then there's this one that reads, Of all the things he could have done to calm the flame, he just sends it into a blaze. This one's really funny because of how things played out. So this comment says, will the mods A, ban HASAN for brigading, B, delete this post, cue Jeopardy music? Turns out it was
C,
actually
none of the
option
above.
C, lock the post and threaten to remove comments. Okay.
I think that you should allow people to discuss this kind of stuff. Like in general, like I can understand a hate thread like not really wanting to be on there. But like I generally don't even delete a lot of hate threads on like I'll give you an example, right?
Okay.
Like now I'm not saying that I never delete hate threads. Of course I've done it before whenever I feel like they get really personal or they get really weird or whatever. But like let me just go and I'll give you an example. This one here. So like this has 3,000 comments. A lot of these comments are Amber Heard, not a single event.
Let's see the profile. Let's see the picture of this. Hold up. Let's see it. Come on. Go back. Milk, baby milk. It sounds like this is basically Trump, right? You know, he's just basically Asmon with the N64 controller hairline, farming the Donald Trump videos. And why wouldn't he, honestly? Why wouldn't he, you know, farm these videos? Because if we look at Asmongold TV, right? If we look at his channel, what has his analytics been recently? Let's look at this. Hold up. Asmongold TV. We do this. Asmon TV. That's the ad here. Boom. Bring this up. I mean, shit. Do you see this? He's peaking right now. This is obviously during the controversial ban, right? We were talking about, you know, cultures, and I don't want to get into that, but you know what happened here. Came back, and then, you know, it's doing well. It's an upward trajectory. Why would he not stop engaging in this when clearly his audience enjoys this shit? Yeah, there's going to be people that are tired of it and they're going to leave, but that's fine. You're not trying to pander towards everybody, right? So if this is the direction that he wants to take it, then so be it. The analytics, the numbers are the truth.
3,000 comments. A lot of these comments are Amber Heard, not a single event, infinite money, nerve toast. Now, like a lot of these comments are negative, right? Look at his face, like a kid going. I mean, Trump's funny. I think so too. But anyway, last Amber Heard Johnny Depp was entertaining. Generally, don't get how people can sit through it. So like a lot of people are being critical on the subreddit, but like this is about the content of the event, right? It's about the content of the stream. And so like if people don't like that, that's fine. Trump's a content machine. I miss transmog competitions, viewer raids. Yeah, people are not happy about it. And so like you have to let people have people saying to stop launching him, right? I mean, this is always how it is.
And that's fine. If it's the decision that Asmon wants to make to pursue a different type of content covering topics that his older audience may not align with, then so be it, right? And if his content started to fall off and the viewership was no longer there because his new content is not reaching the target audience and his old audience is no longer watching, then maybe you should do some self-reflection, actually take these comments to heart and be like, you know what? Maybe I gotta change something around. But I mean, it's working out for him. He doesn't need to pander towards everybody, right? So it's just like his own decision to make.
So like I let these go through. Now, like at a certain point, it could be too much, right? But especially if it's somebody's criticizing the content, the actual content itself, and it's not being made personal or like, oh, this guy's a piece of shit. It's not personal. Then like you have to let people say that kind of stuff, because if you don't, then it's not like those people are going to go away. They're just going to get more radicalized and get more angry.
Yep. But it's like, can those people be converted? Absolutely not. They are the opposing force. They've convinced themselves to hate this guy on command no matter what. So when it comes down to this, I guess the best you can do is just try to hide the trash, right? Try to cover it up. Try to just, you know, make it look like the negative feedback is no longer there.
Malls, while reading hate comments from his Trash Taste podcast episode, directs his audience to quote-unquote get in and actively counter the brigade. And here's the clip.
Mr. President, the second piker has hit the trash taste. Why would you do this? Is HASAN really the terrorist endorser? Shame.
Me reacting to Asmon, reacting to Hero Hey, who's made a video, who is reacting to HASAN, reacting to Holy shit, what is happening right now?
Too bad. I get irritated from just seeing his face. The guy has said so many profoundly idiotic things that I honestly cannot listen to a word from him. The brigade is on, folks. Get in and actively counter the brigade. They dislike botted the video immediately. Lol, is at 2.5K dislikes.
For sure.
You're really upset.
It's not dislike botted. If you have 20,000 comments like that, it's not dislike botted, because like and dislike botting comments would not be the same. It's not botted.
There is I mean, you could assume that the comments are also botted or something, but it's just so much, man. Why does it look like he's deep throwing his mic? Because the Shure SM7B, the mic that every streamer has, you have a lot of different settings. But if you basically want to, Asm doesn't do it, but if you have the setting where basically the noise gate and everything is so cranked up that you cancel out every other noise in the house, you have to really talk close to it. That's why.
Not be the same. It's not botted.
That dude in chat trying to blame all the dislikes on some like dislike bot is just the icing on the cake. But wait, there's another clip to take a look at. This one that reads, Chatter tells HASAN he's out of touch, which he didn't appreciate.
Because sometimes we'll stare into the darkness on this broadcast. Like, we'll look at like what they're saying, and they just can't comprehend how like journalists are still covering this guy in a positive way. What the f is going on? And it's like, dude, why do you think like a 40-year-old journalist has no political convictions of their own? Like, you think they're going to be deluded by like a drama farmer on YouTube, like a slop tuber, and be like, wow, this is a real bad guy?
I don't think that there's actually as big of a difference between journalism and slop content on YouTube. I'm going to be honest. I really don't think so.
Just different generations, right? I would honestly maybe even side with the slop content tuber, because they are not bought by like, you know, the, what's it called, mainstream media, as you would call it.
I think that like a lot of things that pass for journalism immediately go to YouTube. And in fact, I actually think that a lot of the slop content on YouTube is better. That's why when a lot of journalists go to YouTube, they end up getting no views. It's because people don't want to listen to it and people think they're full of shit. The problem is that with a lot of these journalists and these people that do this stuff, they do have political convictions, but the problem is that those convictions are not popularly held. And that's the issue. That's the fundamental problem that exists with like
popularly held by the audience that exists on YouTube, which I think is a lot more widespread rather than like a specific demographic that mainstream media is targeting. Like Fox is trying to hit like, you know, the Republican, you know, divorced dad types, right? Like on YouTube, there's so many different people. And I think on YouTube, that's why you see more. Like, compare the engagements on Twitter versus YouTube. As much as people complain about YouTube and shit on it, I think that YouTube has way more diverse and, you know, wide background of people with different school of thoughts rather than specific echo chambers being made on Twitter or Reddit.
Kind of the difference between like media and the public is that the media is trying to push forward a narrative that the public doesn't agree with and respect. Like, who do you think really is getting more views on these things, right? Is this random newspaper that's having like every single metric for this newspaper is going down? Do you think that's what's getting more views, or do you think that this video that's getting millions of views on YouTube is getting views, right? I mean, which one do you think more people are seeing?
YouTube. Have seen internet harassment campaigns before? Yeah. You are so out of touch, holy hell. No, brother, I'm not the one who's out of touch.
Oh.
The people that are going, we hate you.
Let's bring that meme. This one. Am I out of touch? No. It's the people who are wrong. And this is still nuanced, right? If a random chatter challenges you and says you're out of touch, you got to take into more consideration the things happening around. But right now, the consideration being made is the Trash Taste video and the amount of hate that HASAN is getting for it. Is he out of touch? You tell me.
You, because we think this person is an evil person, me, okay? we think your friend that you know better, okay, is actually secretly an evil person because we've seen YouTube videos from rabid haters is an active line of attack. The assumption that
Womp womp.
you as a random commentator, a random commenter online is not out of touch, but I am, because what you expect.
Maybe both are out of touch. Does it have to be so mutually exclusive? Because he still does have a lot of fans. Genuinely, if he didn't, he couldn't keep doing this. His concurrent viewership on Twitch is amazing. His YouTube content also pops off. But again, when you make controversial, videos and you engage in these controversial topics, you're going to have an opposing force that may be just as equal or bigger than you. So it's hard, man. It's hard to really tell, like, who is out of touch here.
In terms of like retaliation towards someone like myself is not matching the reality is hilarious.
Dude's really trying to sound not out of touch by citing journalists. Like, oh, 40-year-old journalists support me, as if the opinion of some random journalists prove he's a morally good and not out of touch person. He doesn't even realize that the majority of people just...
Like, the out of touch thing, I think, really depends on the perspective and like the echo chamber that you're part of. Because let's get serious. Everyone's community is their own echo chamber, right? And that's fair, right? An influencer that is, talking and commentating and spreading his ideologies to his fans, of course that's going to turn into an echo chamber, especially if you moderate it. A subreddit, is an echo chamber. It's all like that. But like, whose echo chamber is more righteous, I think, is the more important talking point. Because let's just assume that everyone's out of touch. Okay, sure, fine. But which side is more righteous and just? What is the talking points and the philosophies being held in those camps that matters more? Maybe none. Maybe none matter. I don't know.
Despise journalists and don't trust them. It's probably one of the most out of touch things he actually could have said to use for his argument.
Yeah, the journalists are not... journalism nowadays
Yeah, that example, maybe not the best one.
is activism. Most people are not interested in relaying the truth. They're interested in trying to push an agenda. Yeah, I think it becomes readily evident.
Fake news, brother.
When you have lie campaigns, like, for example, the campaign about like Black Myth Wukong, that was a complete lying campaign. And it's pushed universally.
That's right.
With every single group with no pushback.
Fabricating, fabricating the sense that, hey, this is the way that people want it. The modern audience, the modern video game audience. How did that turn out for, projects like Concord, right? A lot of these people definitely have an agenda in mind. Then they artificially hype it up. But I think that's why YouTube matters even more, right? I think that the YouTube engagement matters even more because, again, how most places are definitely a lot bigger echo chambers, but on YouTube, it's the audience pool is so wide and, so great that it's you really get to see what people really think on YouTube, in my opinion. Now, the algorithm does cater towards specific types of people, right? If you're super into right-wing, content, you're just going to get fed right-wing content and you're not going to have challenging opposing views. But this video in specific, the Trash Taste Podcast, right? That video was made and now you're getting brigading from both sides of the spectrum. So at that point, maybe, you should kind of look at it and say, maybe we really are out of touch. Maybe the people genuinely don't give a fuck about, what HASAN has to say.
It's because these people are playing on a team. There's not an objective viewpoint here.
That's right, team sports. It's always tribalism.
Severely underestimates how many people actively dislike him. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like... I mean, it's very simple, right? I mean, if you look at like the elections, you look at like a lot of people's opinions, it definitely seems like way less people are agreeing with like any sort of like super leftist point of view. I think that you're seeing like a massive like cultural
paradigm shift
away from that. Like it or hate it, but that is the truth.
Ever since Trump got elected back, right? And I think even like before that, like I think the political spectrum has been changing so vastly. One thing that I do enjoy about this is the fact that I can say retard without feeling like I'm going to get canceled. Because that word just evokes so much emotion. And I'm not trying to be ableist here. No. I would never consider people that are disabled as that. But genuinely just stupid people. I just love saying that word.
Apparently not being out of
so
touch.
if you have these opinions that nobody agrees with and like the culture is moving away from, you're going to get a lot of negative feedback.
And lastly, there's this tweet that reads, HASAN denies his lolcow status, and in the clip, he's actually still going on about the whole out of touch thing. So,
which is funny because he's being lolcowed right now. What's a lolcow? People bait the streamer. People say things to bait the streamer to react in a specific way, and they kind of have fun doing that.
Let's take a look.
How do you not understand that? Things will keep shocking you over and over again if you are so echo chambered and hug boxed that you genuinely believe that I am considered lolcow by.
But you're also echo chamber too. At least admit that. You know? Everybody exists in their own echo chambers. You can't just be like, hey, I am representing the people. Everything is so diverse and we got all kinds of opinions here. But you are the echo chamber. No. Everybody belongs to an echo chamber.
Anyone that is a normal human being who goes outside, okay? That's the problem. You're like a 40-year-old dude on Twitch right now being like, you're the one who's out of touch, Hasan, because in spite of the fact.
But the 40-year-old dude right now could be the one that is correct right now. That meme again of like, am I out of touch? You know, we got, you know, the boomer saying that. Yo, the boomer could be right now.
The fact that you are one of the most popular content creators on Twitch, I still think me and my homies think you're a bad guy. And the more you don't realize that other people don't see it the way that you do, the more you just make up conspiracies.
But like, this is again, isn't it so hypocritical? Everything he's saying right now could be applied directly onto him. The more that you engage in your echo chambers, the more you're going to delude yourself to, you know, be convincing that, you know, that this is the reality. But like, both sides are doing that. Am I crazy here?
In your mind, you can say womp womp all day, but the real womp is happening to you, old
womp
man.
womp womp. I know the resolution of this is really bad right now. But like, it's because the Hero Hey video, unfortunately, this is the best resolution stream they could get. But this guy basically replied, womp womp. Honestly, pretty based, kind of funny.
Calm down.
Why does he keep using this whole like 40-year-old thing? Like, oh yes, the 40-year-old journalists support me. And
because you can, like, you know, strip a person of their dignity and how relatable and in touch they could be if, you know, if you portray them to be older.
And this time he's mad at the chatter, saying he's like a 40-year-old dude on Twitch. But anyways, I think it's really funny
that's a very good point, by the way. Like, you're saying like old people are the ones that are credible in this case, but old people are the ones that are not credible, and basically the same thing. It's a very good point.
He's talking about conspiracy theories, but had nothing to say about conspiracy. By
the way, all these dudes are pushing 40. no disrespect. But like, Hasan, aren't they like basically 35?
Theories when there was this chatter saying like,
Giguk, the biggest one too. Giguk pushing 40. Me too? Bro, I've been 40. What are you talking about? I just celebrated my 49th birthday. Don't you remember? Just like a week ago?
Like, all the dislikes are just some like bots disliking the video. So when it's convenient for him, things are conspiracy theories. But when it's not convenient for him, they're not conspiracy theories.
And that's the thing, right? When it's convenient for you, like, you can't call someone that like, oh, you're in an echo chamber and you're just schizo. And everything, and the more that you know, exist in your echo chamber, the more that you're going to delude yourself. So instead, you should join my echo chamber. And if you join my echo chamber, then you're going to have a different set of conspiracy theories. Like, everybody, their own communities, you're going to have echo chambers.
Apparently. And let me get this part straight. So his defense for being a good person is that journalists support him and that he's one of the most viewed people on Twitch.
Numbers aren't an indicator that you are a good person. For example, Jack Doherty, Fuzi, Aiden Ross. Listen, are these the harbingers of morality and everything that is good? No. Do they get a lot of numbers? Yes. Okay, a journalist hype you up. What kind of journalist? Are they aligned specifically in your interest? Are they also in your echo chamber that aligns with your political ideologies? And if so, it's not really surprising that a budget journalist would be into you. Like Logan Paul, Jake Paul, whatever, right? Bigger number doesn't mean better person.
Is that really the argument that he's going with?
I think if you really want to tell if somebody is a good person or not, you should look at how many negative interactions they've had with other people that they've interacted with on a personal level. So like, if, for example, you have somebody who all of the time crashes out and there's like drama with other people, etc., then they're going to be the ones that are going to have the problem. Like
Mitch Jones. Anyone get that reference?
It's basically like if you're the common denominator, you are probably also the problem.
That's right. It's like the people that's like, oh, I hate drama. Everywhere I go, all these people backstab me. Wah, wah, wah. But notice how they're always like the ones that's just like in the middle of drama. Like if everywhere you go smells like shit, maybe you should look at your fucking shoes. It might be just you, man.
We'll take a look at is this tweet that says HASAN rallies the troops in his Twitter community. The screenshot provided reading, I don't think it's all organic trash taste fans, to be honest.
Is that his armpit? It is. That's a crazy profile picture.
I got lots of weirdos roaming the web recently. It's okay to correct the record, in my opinion. They get away with saying.
This is, I think, totally fair. I don't think it's all organic trash taste fans, to be honest. It's absolutely correct. There's no way that all of the hate and negativity is coming from trash taste community. Most likely, they're coming from Destiny community. Most likely, they're coming from maybe Ethan Klein's, hardcore community. Maybe and a bunch of other people that HASAN has basically waged war against. I think those people are the ones brigading and mobilizing their forces to make him look bad. Maybe there are some people in trash taste community that does not like HASAN at all, but there's no way that that video is organic.
Saying a lot of totally ridiculous things. Everyone is capable of making up their mind if they simply watch the stream.
Again, this is like, it's something that's like partially true, but it's also true HASAN said a lot of out-of-pocket stuff. Like, I mean, people come to this conclusion by watching clips of what he says too. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's not that simple.
Yeah, people watch the stream and make up their own opinion, but when that opinion's negative, then it's not organic, it's not authentic.
No. Come on. Hero, hey, you gotta be objective right now. There's no fucking way that the Trash Taste videos is completely organic and does not have injections of other anti-HASAN communities brigading it. There is no way.
It can't be right. It's gotta be bots. It's gotta be brigading.
I don't know about bots, but like it's definitely brigaded. Like that's just an objective fact. Is this not logical? Is it not like reasonable to assume that a controversial figure to HASAN would get a shitload of hate outside of just the Trash Taste podcast? Like imagine like all the different communities that HASAN has waged war against just being like, oh shit, it's time, boys. Trash Taste podcast is out. We don't watch that shit. But we don't care. We're just here to shit on HASAN. There's no fucking way, bro. What did HASAN say that was so horrible that making him see so bad? He said that streaming is harder than 9 to 5. I mean, that's one of them. I remember that. Yeah, anyone remember that arc? Oh man, bro, that line went fucking crazy. The take was, it's emotionally draining to be streaming and to constantly engage with people, so your social battery is drained more than a scenario where you're just working like a manual labor job where you don't have to think about that stuff, but you're just physically putting in the effort. So in that way, sure, it kind of makes sense, but people take that and run off with it and just go off on sour taste is the sour taste? Isn't that Neil and Faxity's fucking duo channel? No, we're talking about Trash Taste. What are we talking about right now? Anyways,
let me know what you think about this whole Trash Taste HASAN situation. I believe
and I do think that there are, I mean, again, like I do think for sure there are people that are going to go and they're not really Trash Taste fans. They're just HASAN anti-fans.
Absolutely.
And they're going to go and dislike the video because of that. Like, that's absolutely true. Anybody could assume that's true. Of course. It doesn't mean that, like, they're...
Look at all the chat. Look at all the chat just... I bet they brigaded the video too and just disliked and said some comment. Yeah, shit. You got me. What can I say?
Like, their concerns are invalid.
Most important stuff that we went over. As always, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed my coverage, and if you did, please consider liking and or subscribing. Have a great week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this is what happens with a lot of people, and again, it's like if you cover like really controversial topics and you cover controversial content like this, what ends up happening is that you're going to alienate a lot of people. And that's what's happened with me. That's what's happened with HASAN. As I said, I can give a big list of people that, there are probably a lot of people.
It's not necessarily just being yourself, but for example, a lot of people, and again, we exist in this tiny corner on YouTube regarding fucking anime reactions, right? We're a speck, just a little speck dot on this grand ocean known as YouTube. But even me, due to the way that I am so hostile towards any people that are against my content, I mean, say, go fuck yourself, right? The way that I call the people who don't, you know, they criticize me about how you pause too much, you talk too much. It's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm not trying to appeal to you. I'm trying to create a community that enjoys my commentary. That is different from this behavior. Because what I'm doing, yes, you can say it's controversial or not, but I'm not engaging in controversial ideologies or topics. I'm basically being controversial because I'm just being myself. I'm not scared to say what I want to say regarding anime commentary, and I immediately ban people who fucking just wants to be disrespectful, right? But when you start engaging in like political stuff regarding Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Palestine, you know, in a lot of nuanced things that really are so volatile, of course you're going to have a separate group of people that opposes your ideology. And yes, you will also carve up your own community of people who are diehard loyalists because they align with your ideology. But if other people, you know, once you engage in that topic though, there's gonna be even more people that might just hate you for who you are. So you shouldn't be surprised when, you know, you went to McDonald's to get a fucking Big Mac. So, you know, you gotta fucking deal with the blood pressure that comes with it. Thank you, Blazio2, for the Prime 3 months. Thank you, man.
That would do more things with his.
Oh, nobody. So no, Hasan didn't. I don't think any. Hasan didn't say anything controversial on the podcast. At least I didn't see it, but I think that is the common belief right now. I'm not gonna go sit down and watch like a 2-hour podcast right now, but it's rather like his existence. His existence on the podcast is what mobilized a bunch of anti-Hasan communities to brigade the video, dislike it, and hate comment on it because of who he is rather than what he said on the podcast. He talked about Japanese communism? I don't know, man. I didn't watch the podcast. Again, these are just assumptions that I'm making.
Hasan publicly if less people hated him. Like, just straight up. Straight up, that's the truth. Because you've got to keep in mind that, again, like, streaming is a job. You know.
Is it a harder job than a 9-to-5?
YouTube is a job.
Yeah.
Like, whether you want to say, oh, it's our real job. Yeah, but they're making money off of it.
Yeah,
they need that money to live. So whatever you want to call that, that's...
It's a business, right? It's a business, and you want to maintain amicable relationship, right? Business relationships. If you bring Hasan on and you get a bunch of negative feedback and people start, disengaging and unsubscribing from Patreon and all that fallout and then getting canceled, can't be having that show. So it makes sense why Hasan would want to make it look pleasant and positive.
That's what it is. Do they want to do something that gets in the way of that job? Because there's a lot of hate by association that happens. People have recently tried to do that with me, and that's why I have no problem with people distancing from me, because I understand the game and I know how it's played, right?
This also happens to me at such a smaller microcosm of a scale, where sister leveling, the solo leveling video? Again, like, I don't know who's watching these videos right now, but the people that know in my channel, right? Like, because this video went so fucking viral, it's almost hit 200k with the solo leveling abridged that dabbles with, solo leveling, incest memes with Jin up, bro. There's a bunch of people on Twitter that's crying about like, oh, I'll never watch this guy because he watches sister leveling and it's ruining my immersion of solo leveling. And, because I like engage in this behavior, people start talking shit about me on Twitter, making shit up about me, even though they've never seen my content. Whenever I handle, ReZero and Mushoku Tensei and the controversial topics surrounding Rudius, my objective takes are too fucking based, and monkeys start crying on Twitter, making shit up because, again, they just see my name and get triggered. Rather than completely like talking about the talking points made in the video, they'll just be like, oh, this guy's an anti, fuck this guy. It's just what happens, bro. People don't want to have a genuine conversation. They just want to push a narrative because they don't like somebody, and that's all that matters to them.
Right? I've streamed for a long time. I have dealt with people trying to, like, people being, two-faced with stuff my entire fucking life. it's really just another day on the job. But yeah, I think that for a lot of these shows, especially shows that are about anime and like other types of escapism things,
Just talk about anime, bro. You are an anime podcast. You should talk about just anime. I mean, I think that's what they did in the podcast, right?
bringing somebody on that has like a really controversial reputation like HASAN, it's very risky, and you risk alienating your audience in a big
Absolutely.
way.
And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. It's really unfortunate what's happened to HASAN recently, though, because I haven't really been watching his streams anymore. Did you know that I was quite a big HASAN fan back in the day? I think around 2019, 2020, right? With the lockdown and, you know, political unrest happening, HASAN was starting to pop off on Twitch, and I love the talking points that he was making. And hear me out. Genuinely, listen to this. He is such a person of the working class. Say what you will about his fancy cars and houses and whatnot. The ideology that he spreads about the working class, you know, deserving better material conditions, for the common persons to work a job and be able to, you know, afford basic healthcare and have social security nets and all these different things, right? Have good education, healthcare, whatnot. Doesn't that just sound good to you, right? I'm not talking about if this is practical or realistic in this economy, in the society that we live in. But the ideology that he spouted back in the day aligned with me a lot. And I was like, yeah, it's sort of like, you know, the common person should have all these different things. But as the times go on and historical events start happening, right? Starts about controversies around like Russia, Ukraine, you know, Palestine, Israel, you know, his maybe, honestly, not even maybe, his out of touch take on like streaming as being harder than like a 9 to 5. Again, people kind of took that and exaggerated it, but you know what happened, right? A lot of people absolutely hate this guy. And it's come to a point where in the year of 2025, there's more antis than positives. Like before, HASAN really dominated, man. HASAN dominated the space. Everybody wanted to be his friends. But as the years go by, it's becoming less and less like that. So it's unfortunate to see what happened to a person that I used to, you know, listen and watch to a lot of times. But hey, it is what it is. You know what they say, right? There's isn't there a line? You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become the villain. I don't know if that line is correct to be used here, but womp womp. Please go check out Asmongold's channel. With your help, this balding small content creator may be able to reach 4 million subs, man. Go give the video a like. Check out his channel. Check out the Hero Hey channel too, actually. Here. We react to this guy all the time too. We react to this guy all the time too. Here's Hero Hey's channel. Go check them out. And I will see you next time. Korean Asmongold signing out.